It's anxious moments for the country as Kenya prepares to host the WRC Safari Rally in June, of course, and KBC will be live as we promised. And today my journey takes me to Imara Daima industrial area where I have the honor of meeting Nikhil Sachania, who has competed as a paraplegic. And I can tell you, Nikhil, I'm so excited to meet you. I've seen what you can do, what you're capable of doing. And now looking forward to the WRC Safari Rally. What does it mean for you, first of all?
I think it'll be a good challenge for the works teams and us. I think we, as local entries, we've had the experience of driving on our very odd and tough terrain. I think the works team might have a good challenge in, well, not keeping up with us, but a good challenge nevertheless on the terrains that we have, and I think they'll enjoy it just as much as we've been enjoying it for all these years.
Almost everybody is making their debut. So the ARC one you have competed in, tell us about your achievements.
For the safari rallies, I think I've taken part in about 6 safari rallies in total. My first one was in 2014, which was my debut season and also my debut safari entry. I think we finished 29th at the time and first in SPV, which was our class for the car. And every safari ever since that I've done, or taken part in, has always been something that we've made memories of, which has been always, oh, we did this, we had these struggles, but we still overcame. And it's always a really big achievement just to finish such a big event.
Your most memorable among them, thinking about the candidate event we had?
I think, yes, the candidate event was, because it was so much publicized, being all these international delegates and all these international teams that came to see what Kenya was going to offer for this year. That was a really nice experience because we had a whole lot of different terrain. We had a whole lot of different people from abroad. But yeah, the candidate event was one to remember for sure. I think we finished 16th overall, second in our class, and 13th overall within the KNRC category, yeah.
But these are different ball game altogether, the WRC Safari Rally, with so many, the people even who competed before, it's totally different from what you used to do. What's your take?
I think, yes, since when the rally was here in 2002 to what it is now, it has changed from an endurance event to more of a sprint event. So there, I think, shorter stages from what I used to remember from anyway. Maybe shorter days as well. But I know with the amount of entries that are in the rally, most of us will be driving in through the night. So I think a lot of us are looking forward to that.
Which car are you driving?
My car is my father's car, but I'm driving the Mitsubishi Evolution X, which I've driven for about, I think, 4 years now. And it's been, I would say, heavily modified to accommodate my disability. So the car is fully hand-controlled. But other than that, it is more or less a standard rally car that you see with everyone else.
How modified is the car to suit your condition? Because I know you've been taking part in other events, Kenya National Rally Championship, and of course, this is a different event with its own rules and regulations.
Yeah. Modifications that are in the car is basically an accelerator on the steering wheel and a brake, which is behind the wheel. The FIA had to come down and have a look at the modifications that we had done for the car to ensure that they were safely done and also meet their safety standards. So they had advised us 2 years ago on what little modifications we had to do to make sure that it is actually safe, and we can then apply for the certificate of adaptions, which is what is required for them to approve it to drive in the WRC or any FIA event. Everything seems to be very positive, so fingers crossed that it does come through.
Nikhil Sachania, as you know, is a paraplegic rally driver, and of course, he was not born that way, but Nikhil, I'm humbled when you take on motorsports, which is a rather difficult sport, from where I sit, and what really happened to you?
In 2011 is when I had my accident. I had a quad biking accident which was motorsports related. I have a T6, T7 spinal cord injury, which has left me paralyzed from the waist down. But it hasn't stopped me from engaging into motorsports again, which I've loved doing. So it has been a challenge, but I'm still racing.
You were doing quads before?
Yes.
Before you got into rally?
So I had just got back from university, from abroad. I used to do a few 4x4 challenges, you know, the ones you climb those little mountains and stuff. And then I wanted to get into rallying, but I saw that the quad biking felt a bit more of a rush at the time, being young. So I managed to acquire a bike, and unfortunately, while doing some training, during a training rally, is when I had my accident. It's been 10 years. It's going to be 10 years, but I think I've coped pretty well. I have had a lot of help from my family and my friends, and I think without their support, I don't think I'd be here.
When you get into that car, have you had any scare that took you back to what happened?
When I got my first car, when I had my debut season, I did go for a training rally again, which was technically my first rally, and we actually had to pass that area where I had my accident. So that was kind of, you know, it takes you back, kind of like, oh, I'm crossing this barrier per se. But yeah, we crossed it, and yeah, 10 years on, I don't think I've looked back.
Just in summary, give us your achievements in the Kenya National Rally Championship, because I know you really won quite some awards, not forgetting Sawyer, and yeah, we've hosted you in several times when
Yes.
you've won. Yeah, just briefly go through.
So yeah, in 2014, on my debut season, I won the SPV class. I was also awarded the Motorsports Personality of the Year from the Kenya Motorsports Federation. Later on in that same year, I was awarded the Sportsman of the Year Disability class by Safaricom, the Sawyer Award. And then I have won the SPV class another 2 times. And recently I did win the Division 3 championship, which was, I think, 2 years ago. Last year was pretty difficult. We had 2 rallies, and then everything was closed down. Of course, the pandemic has affected not just sports, businesses, you know, different people's livelihoods. It had been a pretty tough year. I know things are getting better now with the vaccine rollouts and just general public awareness of the virus. So I think I hope this year it does you know, give more opportunities for us to race, and I hope the spectators can actually be allowed soon. I hope for the WRC, fingers crossed. It's a huge event, but I mean, it's the government directive that we need to follow, and we hope that they allow.
You've been to the route, Nikhil. Tell us about how only 2-3 sections you have not covered, but I'm sure you are aware of the route. So how do you foresee it for everybody, including everybody's talking about the works teams, but of course, at least for you guys, there's an age. Yeah.
I mean, the stages most of us are very familiar with what we're getting into. We have been through these stages numerous times, not just in recent years. There is always a slight change in the route because of how big these conservancies are and the locations that we're being spread out to. So I think the local drivers do have that slight advantage because we've continuously had these stages presented to us. But we all know that Sleeping Warrior, Elementaita, Kedong, those are the tough stages that we need to be cautious, and I'm sure that the top drivers and the top teams that are coming down have heard these these rumors that they're tough stages, and yeah, we just need to be wary, and we know where to push and we know where we can't push depending on everyone's car and everyone's capability. Yeah. For the first 2 days, I think we'll just want to try and get the car through the stages neatly, obviously competitively, and then depending on how we fare on Saturday evening, we'll try and push. How we fare on Friday evening, we'll see if we can push to get a few more places up on Saturday and Sunday.
How's your preparations going on so far? The car, yourself?
Yeah, I've been trying to keep fit through the COVID pandemic. As for the car, we did have some issues, as I mentioned at the ARC. We had our engine overheat, and we have to rebuild it. We're hoping by the end of this week we do have a running car, and potentially the coming week we'll be able to test the car. At the moment, it's just the engine that needs to be put in and run a bit.
Mm-hmm. So what does the Safari Rally mean to you from where you sit?
The Safari Rally has been, everyone knows about the Safari Rally. It's one of those prestigious events, even though it hasn't been with the WRC for almost 20 years. Just finishing or starting a Safari Rally is, I don't know, it's an achievement on its own. Yeah.
Tell us about your navigator.
So my navigator, Deep Patel, he's been a very close friend of mine, and he's very semi-active in motorsports. He does autocross, and he now navigates me. So I think he's looking more forward to the event than me. Being this would be his second Safari Rally, and the first one being the candidate event. So it was for him. I think he's looking very, very forward to the upcoming event.
Apart from motorsports, what else do you do?
So we have a small family business. We do fit outs and joinery. This is our little factory. You can follow me. I can show you inside.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't know. Do you want me to explain?
Yeah.
I can just. Maybe you can.
I'm seeing it's looking for me like a lab in a normal classroom.
Yeah. So over here we just have our workbenches where our fundis and stuff are. Mm-hmm. We do all our finishing work on this side. Mm-hmm. We have a few machines here to assemble furniture, other types of woodworks, wardrobes for hotels. That's what we do here.
Now, as you've just heard from Nikhil Sachania, of course, a router for the local boys, because they are going to give the work teams a run for their money. They might have superior cars, but you never know what can happen in Naivasha. And of course, Nikhil will be making his history as the first paraplegic driver to take part in the WRC Safari Rally.